leave the TV on to drown the quiet out, but the silence has a way of finding what I doubt. I'm walking through the rooms where we used to dance so close. Now I'm just a tenant living with a handsome ghost. I see your keys upon the counter, though you took them when you went, and the air still carries traces of your cedarwood scent. It's just echoes in an empty hall, watching shadows stretch against the wall. I'm screaming out your name, but the plastic drinks the sound. I'm looking for the pieces of the love we never found. Every floorboard creaks like you're coming home at last, but it's just the house breathing out the heavy, hollow past. I found a grocery list inside your winter coat, just a simple milk and bread you casually wrote. How can something so mundane break a heart in two? Just a scrap of paper left of everything of you. I've rearranged the furniture to change the point of view, but no matter where I sit, I'm still looking for you. They say that time is a healer, that the ringing starts to fade, but I'm trapped inside the fortress of the promises we made, and they hit the sticks of this loneliness are sharp and loud and clear. I'm the only one who's talking, and you're the only one I hear. Echo, just echoes. The hole's getting longer. The silence is getting stronger. I took the highway to the edge of the state to escape the vibration of a localized fate. I drove through the mountains and I drove through the plains, trying to wash out the blood-colored stains. But the radio played that one song that you like, and the needle of my memory suddenly spiked. It doesn't matter where I go or what I do, every road leads back to you. A different side exit, a different side town, but the ghost of your presence is still around. I'm driving in circles, I'm chasing the blue, but every road leads back to you. I saw a billboard that looked like your smile, and I had to pull over for a little sidewalk. The GPS is telling me to turn back around to the quietest corner where I forever was found. I'm a fugitive of us, I'm a runner of them, in the middle of the how and the but the maps are all written in the ink of your name. And the end of the journey is always the same. It doesn't matter where I go, what I do, every road leads back to you. A different side exit, a different side town, but the ghost of your presence is still around. I'm driving in circles, I'm chasing the blue, but every road leads back to you. 100 miles, still at the start. Every road leads back to the hole in my heart. The room is painted like a morning sky, with clouds and birds that were meant to fly. A tiny soccer ball with no name, waiting for a child that never came. I rock the silence back and forth alone in a nursery that's turning to a tombstone. The mobile spins for an audience, and I'm catching the light of a never-risen sun. This empty cradle, this hollow little nest holds the weight of the dreams we love best. It doesn't creak with a baby's gentle sigh, just the echo of my unanswered why. It's a monument to a future laid to rest. This empty cradle, this aching silent test. My arms are learned and unfamiliar, whole cradle in a story that couldn't unfold. Your hand in mine, both of us so small, bracing for a pain that took it all. Life isn't fair, the oldest, cruelest lie written in the space that was meant to be mine, to sing lullabies to a sleeping face. Instead I sing to this empty space. This empty cradle, this promise turned to dust, holds the shadow of a sacred trust. It doesn't creak with a baby's gentle sigh, just the echo of my unanswered why. It's a monument to a love I'll never know. This empty cradle, and how my love still grows. For you, my almost, my never, my lost. The maple tree is skeletal, a web of black on gray, against the cold November sky at the end of fall's decay. one leaf holds on stubbornly, a fleur of rusty red, a single trembling note of life not yet quietly dead. And buried it clings to a slender outermost twig so high, a final bold resistance to the wind's determined sigh. In the coming snow, I am the last autumn leaf, clinging to a branch of them, refusing to believe the season's over once again. Holding out for a phantom spring that won't come back for me. Everyone else has let go, falling to become the trees. New nourishment, but I hang on, a brittle, lonely prayer, a testament to a love that's no longer in the air, but in my grip. The wind tugs at my edges, whispering, let go, let go. It's time to join the others in the soft and dark below. But my stem is tight with memory of the sun that warmed this place, when the branch was full and verdant, and I could see your face through the green. The fall is to admit the photosynthesis is done, that the light of you that fed me has been eclipsed by a colder sun and a longer night. I am the last autumn leaf, clinging to a branch of them, refusing to believe the season's over once again. Holding out for a phantom spring that won't come back for me. Everyone else has let go, falling to become the trees. New nourishment, but I hang on, a brittle, lonely prayer, a testament to a love that's no longer in the air, but in my grip. Maybe there's a dignity in being the last one left, a witness to the ending of being so bereft of company, that you become a symbol stark and plain. Maybe when I finally fall, it will release the pain in the letting go. But for now, I'll be the last autumn leaf, bold and absurd, the final clinging punctuation of a love's last word on the page of this tree. Just one leaf, last autumn leaf, holding on until the stem just breaks. A single rose would recall a certain time. The floorboards groan under a weight that isn't there. I'm talking to the shadows, I'm pulling at the air. The kettle's whistling for a cup I shouldn't pour. I keep waiting for your shoulder to lean against the door, but the kitchen's getting colder with every passing tick, and the silence in this hallway is making me feel sick. You're just a ghost in the hallway, a spirit where you stood. I'd reach out and touch you if I only could. You're a flicker in the corner, a shimmer in the glass, watching all the moments that we never got to pass. I'm living in a museum of a love that didn't stay, just a ghost in the hallway, fading to gray. I found your old blue sweater tucked behind the shelf. It still smells like the secrets you kept unto yourself. I put it on to feel the ghost of how you used to hold, but the wool is feeling heavy and the sleeves are feeling cold. I'm tracing every footprint that you left upon the floor, but they lead into a darkness that I can't find anymore. You're just a ghost in the hallway, a spirit where you stood. I reach out and touch you if I only could. You're a flicker in the corner, a shimmer in the glass, watching all the moments that we never got to pass. I'm living in a museum of a love that didn't stay, just a ghost in the hallway, fading into gray. I'm not afraid of the dark, I'm afraid of the light, because the morning shows me clearly you didn't survive the night. In my head you're still laughing, you're still walking through the frame, but the walls don't even whisper when I call out your name. You're just a ghost in the hallway, a spirit where you stood. I'd reach out and touch you if I only could. You're a flicker in the corner, a shimmer in the glass, watching all the moments that we never got to pass. I'm living in a museum of a love that didn't stay, just a ghost in the hallway, just a spirit where you stood. I still see you, I still feel you, fade away, fade away. We've reached the final page, the one we knew was there. The words we couldn't write are hanging in the air. No fiery argument, no turning of the key, just a quiet understanding of what had to be. We're standing in the foyer of what could have been, with the tenderness for where we end and where we begin, alone. So let's not spoil the silence with a bitter sharp goodbye. Let's just hold this moment beneath the same forgiving sky. One last shared breath, one last attempt to memorize the sight before we turn off every loving fading light. This is love's final farewell, soft as falling snow, a gentle letting go. We both somehow know I'll miss the way the morning found us, tangled in the sheets, the harmony we made from all wrapped in careful thought, the battles that we fought for, and the peace that couldn't be bought. I'll leave your favorite coffee mug right there upon the shelf, a little piece of me, a quiet ghost of myself, to whisper to you sometimes on a future lonely night that what we had was real and it was worth the fading light. So let's bless the broken road that brought us to this clearing, acknowledge all the beauty in the disappearing. One last touch, a fragile thread about to come undone, for a love that was exhausted but was never truly done. This is love's final farewell, soft as falling snow, a gentle letting go. We both somehow know I'll miss the way the morning found us, tangled in the sheets, the harmony we made from all our discord and beats. So I'll kiss your cheek, my darling, and I'll wish you truly well in this quiet, heartbreaking love's final farewell. The door will close, the hall will empty, I will finally cry and learn to walk a different path neath that same sky. But in some distant future, when the ache begins to fade, I'll send a silent thank you, the foundation that we laid. Farewell, my love, be safe, be well. This is our final gentle farewell. Farewell. I'm wearing the dress you always loved the most, and lighting the candles on this coastal post. I've made your favorite meal, it's sitting, getting cold, a story of surrender that's about to be told. This isn't an ambush, it's a final decree, a quiet, desperate prayer, just you and me. I'm laying down my weapons, my excuses and my fears. My last battalion is these fallen tears, one final charge into the great unknown before I face this future on my own. This is love's last stand on this familiar ground, where every hope we planted can't be found. I'm raising up a flag of pure white, see it wave, not for victory, but for the love I couldn't save. So look around, remember what we built by hand, before you turn and go at love's last stand. The silence between us has become a solid wall. I'm shouting through the bricks, but I'm about to fall. So let me say it clearly, with no fight left in me, I love you utterly, but I need you to see the emptiness in your eyes. It's the final at love's last lonely stand. This is love last stand on this familiar ground, where every dream we whispered can be found. I'm raising up a flag of pure white, saying wave, not for victory, but for the love I couldn't save. So look around, remember what we built by hand before you turn and go. At love's last stand, they'll never write a song. They'll never write a song about this quiet defeat. No happy crashing ending, just a slow retreat of a heart that loved too fiercely to demand a single simple caring hand. So I stand down, the candles flicker out, the last stand is done. My love, you've won by leaving. My love, you're gone. The forecast calls for gentle rain, a quiet love, a soft refrain. But I should have read the warning signs in the distance of your eyes. We set our sails for golden skies, but a silent storm began to rise, and now I'm learning how to breathe in the valleys of the waves, trying desperately to save this vessel. You're ready to leave on this love's ocean. I am drifting alone, tossed by the memory of how our love was thrown into the deep blue of your indecisions tide. I'm clinging to the wreckage with my pride inside on this rough ocean. Love is sinking slow, and I'm just waiting for the light to show me where to go. Your words were cliffs so cold and tall. My whisper please began to fall, like scattered rain upon the sea, where you're calming everything to me. Now the silence is the loudest sound as this lonely water spins me around, and every star I navigate by has been swallowed by the cloud of every doubt you said aloud and left unanswered in your sight. On this love ocean, I am drifting alone, tossed by the memory of how our love was thrown into the deep blue of your innocence. soak on my skin, tears in the sea, wash over what's left of you and me on this rough ocean, just me on this endless sea, finally free. The man in the doorway is a stranger to me. He doesn't have the eyes that I used to see. His voice is too sharp and his shadow is thin, a record of exactly where the changes begin. I'm looking for the boy that I met in the park, searching for a flame from a long dead spark. I'm still loving the person who used to be, in the high definition version of our history. Not the one who is angry, not the one who is cold, but the story of us that was vibrant and gold. I'm holding a memory, I'm clutching a ghost, loving the person I needed the most. I saw an old video on my digital drive, back when our connection was actually alive. You were laughing at nothing, you were holding my hand in a sanctuary version of a different side land. Now you're just a witness to a localized end, and I've lost my lover and I've lost my best friend. Can I find him again? Is he buried inside, underneath the layers of the nothing and pride? Or is he just a fiction in a silver backlight, the specific reflection of goodbye? I'm still loving the person you used to be, in the high definition version of our history. Not the one who is angry, not the one who is cold, but the story of us that was vibrant and old. I'm holding a memory, I'm clutching a ghost, loving the person I needed the most. He's not here, he's already gone. The person I love won't be coming on. The ground began to crumble back in late July. I didn't see the warning signs, I didn't ask them why. Now there's a giant crater where my living room should be, and all my friends are standing around just to look at me. They bring me Tupperware and sorries, they bring their pity eyes, but they're standing on the solid ground while my foundation dies. It's just sinkhole sympathy, watching from the edge. of the ledge. They're glad it isn't them down here drowning in the dirt, while they offer up their thoughts and prayers to cover up the hurt. Yeah, I'm falling and they're watching, sinkhole sympathy. They tell me it'll get better, they tell me stay real strong, while they're backing up their cars so they can move along. I can see the fascination in the way they look below, like I'm a tragic movie or a twisted kind of show. They don't wanna jump in, they don't wanna get their shoes all black. They just wanna say they saw me before they all headed back. The dirt is in my mouth now, the sky is just a dot, and I'm learning who will stay, and I'm learning who will not. It's just sinkhole sympathy, watching from the edge, throwing down some flowers from the safety of the ledge. They're glad it isn't them down here drowning in the dirt, while they offer up their thoughts and prayers to cover up the hurt. Don't look down, the view is grim. I'm sinking further while they learn to swim. Remember when the wire was a lifeline twisting around my finger while you left? We whispered dreams until the morning sunshine, building a world on a telephonic draft. You were the pulse inside the plastic receiver, the steady hum that kept the cold away. But now the signal's fraying at the edges. I'm calling out into a hollow space. I'm standing on the ledge of broken pledges, searching for the frequency of your face. It's just white noise where your I love you used to be. A digital desert between you and me. A digital desert between you and me. I'll leave the phone off the hook tonight, hoping the silence carries my regret. Even if the airwaves don't make it right, I haven't learned how to disconnect yet. Just a ghost hovering in a quiet house, static on the line, quiet as a mouse. The calendar says it's the 14th of May. The sky is the flavor of a charcoal tinted gray. I didn't buy a flower I didn't buy wine, I'm just tracing the edge of what used to be mine. It's been exactly a year since you walked out the door, and I stopped being the me I was before. It's the anniversary of the end today, watching the colors of my history decay. A milestone of nothing, a holiday of gone, as the steady on silence goes on and on. I'm blowing out a candle for a localized grief on the anniversary of the end, without any relief. I remember the kitchen, and I remember the heat, and the way that the silence was a total defeat. You said I can't do this, and I said I know. Watching the best of our chemistry go. Now the date is a scar that I can't even hide. In the high definition version of being inside. Should I celebrate survival or mourn the defeat? In the middle of the sidewalk on an empty side street, the clock keeps on ticking, the earth keeps its spin, ignoring the place where the losses begin. It's the anniversary of the end today, watching the colors of my history decay. A milestone of nothing, a holiday of gone, as the steady on silence goes on and on. I'm blowing out a candle for a localized grief on the anniversary of the end, without any relief. 1 year down, a lifetime to go. The anniversary of the end is all that I know. I used to tell you that I couldn't breathe if you ever decided you were gonna leave. I thought it was passion, I thought it was deep, the kind of forever that you're meant to keep. But now that you're gone and I'm still alive, I'm learning the difference between how I survive. There's a difference between love and the difference between need. One is a garden and one is a seed that grows in the dark and it chokes out the light. A localized version of a middle night fight. I didn't want you, I just didn't want to be alone with a heart that was made of a hollowed out stone. I was using your shadow to hide from the sun, underneath the record of the things I haven't done. I was a parasite heart, I was a localized blur, falling in love with the we that we were. Now I'm standing alone, I'm feeling the cold, finding a story that is finally born. It's a bitter style medicine, a jagged edge pill to find that my spirit has an ironclad will. There's a difference between love and a difference between need. One is a garden, one is a seed that grows in the dark and it chokes out the light. A localized version of a middle night fight. I didn't want you, I just didn't want to be alone with a heart that was made of a hollowed out the difference is love and finally me. Set the table for two, just a habit I keep, a ritual I practice before I go to sleep. The porcelain is polished, the silver's in its place, but I'm staring at the hole where I used to see your face. The wood is dark and polished, the velvet soft and deep. It's the only promise that I meant to kiss. The empty chair, a seat for no one, a monument to everything that's over. And then I talk to the air like you're sitting right there, pulling out the ghost of the life we used to share. It's a heavy kind of lonely, a burden I must bear, staring at the shadow in the empty chair. The sunlight hits the fabric in a way that makes me cry. Reminds me of the mornings when you didn't have to try to make me laugh at nothing, to make the coffee sweet. Now I'm just a woman with a task that's incomplete. I could move it to the attic, I could throw it in the street, but it feels like moving mountains just to leave a vacancy. It's the empty chair, a seat for no one, a monument to everything that's over and done. I talk to the air like you're sitting right there, pulling out the ghost of the life we used to share. It's a heavy kind of lonely, a burden I must bear, staring at the shadow in the empty chair. Maybe tomorrow I'll finally let it go, invite a different stranger to the only life I know. But the thought of someone else resting where you sat, I'm just not ready, I'm not ready for that. Of the life we used to share. a burden I must bear, staring at the shadow in the empty chair. Dinner's getting cold, the stories have been told, just a seat for no one, just a seat for you. I wake up at 7 and I reach for the phone, a localized record of being alone. I check the empty side of the bed for your heat, a rhythmic disaster, a total defeat. It's not even a tragedy, it's not even a sting, it's just the predictable weight of everyday thing. I've got the habit of missing you now, recording the when and recording the how, like brushing my teeth or like drinking my tea. It's the high definition version of me being me, a regular sorrow, a standard style blue, and the permanent habit of missing you. I find myself talking to the ghost in the chair, listening to the sound of the empty side air. I set out 2 plates and I pour out 2 cups, waiting for a feeling that never shows up. It's a muscle style memory, a reflex of pain, in the middle of the ice, in the middle of the rain. How do I break it? How do I quit? The comfort and the static and the rhythm of it. I'm addicted to the gone and the used to be, in the black and white version of my history. I've got the habit of missing you now, recording the when and recording the how, like brushing my teeth or like drinking my tea. It's the high definition version of me being me, a regular sorrow, a standard style blue, and the permanent habit of missing you. Day after day, breath after breath, the habit of missing you is a living death. Ooh. I sent a sunset in a text, a photo of the pier where you first said you loved me, loud enough to hear. I type remember this with a hopeful shaking thumb. Now it's just a digital tune, my words forever done. The little dots never appear, the silence was the sound of my heart hitting the ground, of my hope being drowned. A blue check mark of mercy, a verdict cold and near. The love I poured out, lying obsolete at your feet, is the love you left on red. the goodbye you never said, the conversation with a ghost inside my head, my misuse and my wires in a digital abyss, a monument to everything I'll truly never miss. You archived my forever with a single careless swipe, left my soul in a draft, losing its desperate hype. It's the love you left unread, a message in a void, a feeling I poured out, a hope you just destroyed. I scroll through old threads, now a museum of goodnight, emojis that felt like kisses in the pale phone light. Now they're just dead pixels on an outdated screen, the happiest love story that the world has never seen. I guess I was a chapter you decided not to write, a notification you swiped away into the night. My heart's a blinking cursor on an empty white vast page, waiting for a reply that died of disengage. It's the love you left unread, the goodbye you never said, a conversation with a ghost inside my head, my misuse and my wires in a digital abyss, a monument to everything I'll truly never miss. You archived my forever with a single careless swipe, left my soul in a draft, losing its desperate hype. It's the love you left unread, a message in a void, a feeling I poured out, a hope you just destroyed. Maybe in some server farm, my love is just a bite, a forgotten line of code, devoid of warmth or light. But in this fragile human chest, it's a screaming living thing, a song I sent into the void that I'm still forced to sing. Left unread, left for dead, same difference in the end, the love you left unread. There's a bill on the counter for the things that we split, the localized version of the rhythm of it. Half of the furniture, half of the friends, a high definition record of where the essence. It's not just the sorrow, it's not just the ache, it's the bankruptcy version of a giant mistake. This is the price of goodbye tonight, fading at the edges of the porch light wide, a mountain of dead in a hollowed out soul, losing the pieces that once made me whole. It's expensive to leave and it's expensive to stay in a black and white version of a final Saturday. I'm paying in memories, I'm paying in time for a localized version of an emotional crime. The interest is rising, the balance is low, watching the best of our chemistry go. I traded my forever for a suitcase bass and a key, and the black and white version of me without we. Was it worth the liberty? Was it worth the free to be the only features in this empty side space? I'm looking at the ledger and I'm looking at the loss, calculating the visual and emotional cost. This is the price of goodbye tonight, fading at the edges of the porch light wide. A mountain of dead and a hollowed out soul, losing the pieces that once made me whole. It's expensive to leave and it's expensive to stay in the black and white version of a final Saturday. Paid in full, but I'm broken inside. The price of goodbye and nowhere to hide. We were 99% of a beautiful dream, the most vibrant style fabric with a silverback seam. We were the nearly, we were the close, in the high definition version of a localized dose. We had the blueprints, we had the plan, the biggest style version of a woman and man. We were almost everything, almost the one, watching the setting of a dying out sun. Just a second too late, just an inch to the left of a world that is suddenly a feeling bereft. A masterpiece, nearly a studying fast on a love that was never intended to last. One more conversation, one more night in the dark, could have fanned the embers into a real spark. But we stopped at the finish, we stopped at the gate, leaving the forever to a localized fate. Now I'm just a witness to the could have been, searching for the how and the where and the when. Almost is the heaviest word in the book, a localized version of a don't even look. We were a mountain that turned into a grain in the middle of the ice, in the middle of the rain. We were almost everything, almost the one, watching the setting of a dying out sun. Just a second too late, just an inch to the left of a world that is suddenly a feeling bereft. A masterpiece, nearly a studying fast on a love that was never intended to last. So close, so far. We were almost everything, but we are what we are. It's hanging on the hook behind the pantry door, a shade of the denim that you don't wear anymore. I see it every morning when I'm making the tea, a localized ghost that is staring at me. You walked away like you walked away free, but you left a heavy set version of you with me. You left your jacket, I left my heart, watching the world slowly falling apart. A physical trade in a spiritual war, between the now and the evermore. The fabric is cold, but the memory is sharp, strumming a ghost of a song on my heart. I tried to return it, I tried to let go, but the rhythm of the earth is starting to slow. I put it on once just to feel a bit of the heat, in the middle of a total and localized defeat. It smells like your citrus and it smells like the rain, a high definition version of a vintage style pain. Maybe I'll burn it, or maybe I'll keep the secrets and the promises I wasn't allowed to sleep. But it's a lopsided bargain, a bitter style deal, to trade a piece of my soul for a piece of the real. You left your jacket, I left my heart, watching the world slowly falling apart. A physical trade in a spiritual war, between the now and the evermore. The fabric is cold, but the memory is sharp, strumming a ghost of a song on my heart. Cotton and bone, linen and soul. You left your jacket, and I lost control. I used to read romances, dog is soft and warm, and dream of a beginning, like the quiet break of dawn. Then you walked in, a prologue written in a glance, and suddenly my life was given second chance to be a story. You were the novel, every page a new surprise, the thrilling, aching chapters hidden in your eyes, the plot twists of your laughter, the poetry you'd speak, the highlighted lines of kindness, strong yet gentle need. I lived inside your narrative, I knew each single part, I memorized the contours of your complicated heart. And I was just a short story, simple, plain and brief, a leaf caught in the hurricane of your belief. You were the epic saga sprawling deep and vast, a masterpiece I knew was never meant to last. But for a while I gotta live inside the cover of a love I'll never ever find in another. Now the book is closed, the final sentence sharply penned, and I'm back in the library of life again. But every other person seems a pain. 'Cause you were the novel, every page a new sunrise. The tragic, beautiful confession in your sighs. I was just a footnote in the margin of your ears, a sentence you enjoyed, then dissolved into tears. But for a while I got to read a love so true. Now every other story feels like deja vu. Maybe one day I'll pick up a different book and start, but I'll always search the index for the rhythm of your heart, and miss the way your chapters made me feel so wildly seen. The most beautiful fiction in the world that I've been in. You were the novel, I just wish our ending had a different page to turn to, just a different